Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So here, find the limit of this as x approaches infinity. Here, when you're dealing with as x tends towards infinity, try to get it so that it's one something over x or something over x squared. Because when you get in this term or in this term here, well, looking at this, as x tends towards infinity, this number here is going to be really, really big, meaning it's going to be 1 over 9999999, making the whole term here tends towards 0. Same as this. When x tends towards infinity, this number here is going to be really, really big, making this whole term here tends towards 0. So you can pretty much kill off these terms. So when you're working with limits heading towards infinity, try to aim for something like this or something like this, or well, try to get into these terms here so that they get cancelled out. And also looking at this here, have a hunch that here you have to times by the conjugate of this here, because when you do that, things will cancel each other out. So here, when you times by the conjugate, um, you're going to have this over the so this is your conjugate. So it's pretty much like you multiplying by the number one. This thing here is number one. Well, anyway, that's just a clue. If you don't understand it, well, just that was just a clue. It doesn't matter if you don't understand it. So solve this. Oh, if you look at the graph, it will look like this. So what I'm saying here is that as x tends towards infinity, so as x tends towards infinity, it's heading somewhere. But where is that somewhere? Okay. So here's a graph. Yes, you could guess, but work it out for sure. You can guess by looking at the graph, but when given this, you're not going to be given the graph. Okay. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this here, multiply. Well, visualize it as how? Visualize as this. You've got a bubble here. Multiply top and bottom by the conjugate. So this thing here. Hang on, sorry. Uh, Let me move it across. Okay, hang on. So this thing this thing here is like the number one, because you've got the same bubble over another same bubble. So it's you have this number here is actually one. Okay, this number here, well, this thing here is actually number one. So you're pretty much getting this and timesing it by the number one. So it's the same thing. So this thing here is exactly the same as this, because all that we're doing is we're multiplying it by the number 1. Okay, well, anyway, so this here, you've got a bubble here multiplying a fraction, so it gets multiplied to the top. So this will then become this. Okay, that was the whole point of multiplying by the conjugate, because whenever you have something like x plus a, so in this case x minus a, whenever you have x minus a and then you multiply by x plus a, it becomes nice and neat. It becomes this minus a squared. Okay, it becomes nice and neat. My point is that if you get this times this here, it will become this nice and neat. Okay, the bottom part, well, the bottom part will be the same. That's this. Okay, and then the next step, these two will cancel each other out. This and this here cancel each other out. Okay, so that becomes that. And then the next step, the next step here is divide top and bottom by x. Okay, so when you visualize this, imagine this as being a bubble here. So you're getting you're getting this bubble here, and then you divide by x. But then dividing by x, that's like you saying 5x over x, and then 1 over x. Okay, that's well. So when you are here, what you're doing is you're dividing top and bottom by x. Or another way of looking at it, rather than another way of dividing top and bottom by x to visualize as multiplying by 1 over x. It's the same thing. My point here is that when you're here, well, divide top and bottom here by x. That will give you this here. But then this. Don't forget, when we're dividing this by x here, we are dividing this part by x. Well, dividing by x is the same as me doing this times the reciprocal, well, times 1 over x. So my point is that when you've got this bubble here. If you divide by x here and then you divide by x here, that's the same as multiplying by 1 over x. So my point here is that this thing here, divide by x, okay, that's the same as me doing this. Because if you look at it, you've got a bubble here, and then it gets multiplied to the top. So that's like this bubble over x. So it's the same thing, okay. This one here, because you've got a plus here, you well here. Yes, well, this one becomes this. There are two ways of looking at this. You can either visualize as divided by x, or you can visualize as this multiplying 1 over x, which means it goes to the top, and it will give you this anyway. Okay, so from here, divide top and bottom by x, so that would take you to here, and then now here's the cunning part here. You see. Looking at this bit here, just concentrate on this bit here. You can actually get this and break into these square roots because, okay, given this here, this from our knowledge of indices, this thing equals this thing here. Okay, so at the moment you've got this bubble here, which is this one here, and then you've got this long bubble here, which is this long bubble here. Now, you see when we are in effect here, and then we want to work backwards to get to. Well, I want to really push this into here. Well, hang on. So from here, visualize this as this bit here is this bit here. Okay, this long bubble here is this long bubble here. Now, looking at this here, if you if at the moment you've got this times this, which is this bubble here, and then you've got the long bubble into here, you can actually break into this by squaring this, if that makes sense. I hope by looking at the diagram you get an idea of what's going on. So here, hang on, look, just looking at this bit here only, you've got 1 over x in here, okay, and then this long bubble here is this long bubble here. Okay. Now, if you want to push this into here, then you got to have 1 over x squared in here, because if you start from here, let's say if you're given this here and then you take the square root, then that will give you this. Hang on, that will give you this root bubble, which is 1 over x squared here. And then basically, if you work backwards here, you will get this. This thing here will become 1 over x. This thing here will become 1 over. Well, I hope just by looking at this diagram here, I hope you will understand it. Don't forget, this is 1 over x here, 1 over x in here. Okay, so if you want to break into it, you have to square this 1 over x. So meaning 1 over x times 1 over x. That's that equals 1 over x squared. Okay. If my point here is that if you want to bring this into here, you've got to square this. Okay. Just from our knowledge of indices here, just by using this rule here. Well, anyway. We are currently at this stage here. Okay, this here, hang on, this is the same stage here. I haven't done anything, but in order for us to take this into the square root, we're gonna do this. We're gonna so here we've got this thing. If we want to bring it into the square root, it will be this. Okay, I hope just by looking at this, you can you understand. It's quite hard to explain. Sorry. So here, so yeah, so we were here, and then to break this into here, we've got to square this, okay, and then that would take us to this stage here, and then from here, from here, then this, you've got this multiply with this, and then this multiply with this, and then this multiply with this. So that will give you this thing here. Okay? And then now it's just a matter of tidying up. Hang on. So this thing here, looking at this here, the two x's will cancel each other out, leaving you just 5. 1 over x will stay as 1 over x. Now, hang on. Now, this thing here is just the number 1. This thing here, the two x's will cancel out, leaving you 5 over x. This one here will give you this, and this here is in effect 1. Okay, so from here we will get to here. Okay, so now as x tends towards infinity, this term here goes, because 1 divided by 9, well, near to infinity, this thing here will be next to nothing. In fact, we can think of it as being nothing. And then this thing here is going to be next to nothing. We can think of it as nothing. So this would go, so basically you would get 0, 0 here. Okay, now that actually becomes 5 over 2. So going back to our original graph, so the answer is 5 over 2. The limit is 5 over 2. So going back to our original graph, hang on, bear with me. Going back to our original graph, let me just remove this. Going back to our original graph, so as x tends towards infinity, it will head towards 5 over 2, which is 2.5. So this point here is 2.5. Okay, let me just scroll through the whole solution here. So starting from, so here's a question. Find the limit of this as x tends towards infinity. Now I'm just going to scroll through so that you can press pause if you want to look at it for yourself. Okay. The hard part is this bit here. Understanding that you can actually take this into here, but by looking at this, you've got, well, this is, yeah, that's the hard part. So hang on. So that would take you to here, blah blah blah, and then now here, and then here, and then here. Okay.